What's going on, you guys? So let's jump into it. Hot topics today. An IVF doctor speaks out after embryo mixed up led to couple giving birth to another family baby. He did admit that he is the person to blame for it. It mostly is his fault. So let's jump into this. So basically, a couple was trying to have a baby. They went through IVF. The doctor mixed up the embryo, and it was actually a Caucasian couple, and he implanted a black African American baby inside of them, and they did not know until the baby was born, and it was full blown African American. So now, of course, he have lawsuits. His business was shut down. He did say he was sorry. He made a mistake. So what do you guys think about that? Do y'all feel like that it should be a bigger consequence with the situation? How do you guys feel about, what do the parents, as far as the couple, what do they do? You go through this whole process, and I heard IVF is a draining process. It can definitely wear and tear on not only your mental but your physical also. So for them to even go through all of that, and for them to end up with a mixed up embryo of a child of a different race, like a totally different race, then that is very heartbreaking. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, like, that is very heartbreaking. Of course, they can sue the company. It's like, what do they do? Do they give the child up for adoption? Do they keep the child? Because clearly he said that the embryo was mixed up. So I don't know if he put their embryo in somebody else's baby and they just gonna have to swap it out, later on. This is just a hot behind mess. I definitely would be so upset, because regardless of the fact, some people was just saying, like, this is race, it's a race war. I don't really too much think it's a race thing. But you have to understand, if you sit up here and you go through a process and you spend tons of money and stuff like that, you do not, and then something like that happens. Now, the couple, they did take a picture with the baby. Now, of course, you're going to see the screenshot. I think at the beginning of my video, I usually put up the title and stuff like that. But y'all, the baby is gorgeous. The baby is gorgeous. But the funny thing about it, the baby look like the doctor. And I'm just laughing because people was in the comments talking about, now that baby look like him. So he definitely, they sit up and said that his business was shut down immediately. He is basically towering with legal fees and stuff like that, because a lot of people came out with lawsuits. Not only that couple, but of course other people, or other people that's going through the process. Now you have different couples that are nervous, especially if he had already did the procedure for them and with them. Now they're waiting, because I don't think that you can tell the race of your baby, especially when you go through this process. They couldn't. So a lot of his clientele that he had did before this had came out, they nervous, they start they lawsuit early, because now they're under stress, because they're thinking like, wow, what if this happened to us and stuff like that. So, and the crazy thing about it, this man is still practicing. They saying that he's practicing, but he's actually practicing under another facility. So I'm not gonna lie, what do y'all think should happen to him? Do y'all think that he should have did jail time, or do y'all feel like his license and he just need to pay back the money that he did? Because something like this is very, like, dangerous to a certain extent. In my eyes, it's kind of like, that's like you going through another surgery or procedure, and the doctor be like, oh wow, I know I'm supposed to be working on this, but instead I worked on this. And well, you know what's so crazy? I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Let me tell a little story, and then I'm gonna go. My daughter, my middle daughter, this happened to her before, and it was like in a different type of case though. But she had messed up her leg. She was at a trampoline place on a field trip. She messed up her leg, right? So at this time, she's young. She's only 3 years old. I wasn't there But you know what I'm saying? So I immediately took her to the emergency room because her leg was hurting and they thought it was broke. Do you not know we went through that whole process, you know? So of course they had to do an x-ray because she cannot tell you what leg is hurting. She's just in pain. So do you not know we went through that whole process? The guy who wrapped up her leg, he wrapped it up. My daughter was still in pain. I'm thinking that, okay, she's still in pain because, you know, she's not used to this big old boot because they had a big old boot all the way up to her thigh. Do you not know when we took her back like a month or two later after she was time for her to get that cast off, they cast the wrong leg. They cast the wrong leg. True story. They cast the wrong leg. So I'm like, my daughter that, you know, is 3 years old was walking on a broken leg versus, you know, the leg that was okay was wrapped up. Do you know how mad I was? And of course you want to sue, you want to sit up here and be, you know, you're upset, you know what I'm saying, you're angry, and then the only thing that the company want to sit up here and say is, oh, I apologize. No, you know what I'm saying, like, I don't care. Like, I do feel like sometimes that people should be terminated or they feet should definitely be to the fire. No way, no way. Like I said up here and say, I was so upset and stuff like that at that time. And of course, you know what I'm saying, like hospitals and stuff like that, they have you signing so much stuff and waivers. So just in case mistakes and stuff like that happen, they won't be liable and they won't have, you know what I'm saying, they can't, you know, you can't really sue them or go after them and stuff like that. That's why so many loved ones have been, you know, have passed away or have been injured seriously through doctors and stuff like that. And it's kind of like you can't even do nothing about it because before they even check you out or look at you, they shoving papers out in your face. I remember that when I was pregnant. Like, they don't care how much pain you is, baby. The baby could be hanging out. You know what I'm saying? The head could be hanging out. You know what I'm saying? But they like, hey, we need you to sign this, sign this, sign this, sign all of this before we even look at you. So that's the scariest part. But I do feel like people that make mistakes in the medical field like that should definitely be held accountable. And I don't know, what y'all think? Do y'all think jail time? Do y'all think that they should pay fines? Do y'all feel like their license should be revoked? Let your girl know.